Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine Avatar Varishtaya Ramashnaya Te. So our sessions have been going on by God's grace continuing, and we are having 1 hour sessions and discussing some topics rather elaborately. But in my studies, in the course of my studies, I've often found out that the great souls, those who have realized the truths, prophets like Swami Vivekananda and others, Shankaracharya, sometimes they say so much in so few words, and they throw great light upon a particular topic related to our spiritual life. So when I had read many of these, I thought that we can also have short discussions on some particular topics so that it remains with us, because only one particular topic will be discussed on the basis of the wonderful teachings of these great souls. So today we will discuss a very important topic, which is what is sanskara. We are all more or less familiar with this word, but most probably we don't have a very good idea of what this means and how these sanskaras influence our lives. So let us see on this particular topic what does Swami Vivekananda say and how beautifully, in a very simple language, he has explained this. So this much we all know, that in our bodies are the sanskaras. Now what are they? If somebody asks us, what are the sanskaras? What answer will we give? So he explains. See, first of all, we have to know that other than the time when we are in deep sleep, that is called sushupti, when there are no dreams, that is for a very short time during the night, or when we are in the highest spiritual state called samadhi. Other than these two states, our mind is always active. Always active. Thoughts continue to rise, continue to disappear. Always. It is always happening. We cannot stop it. Trying to control this is yoga sadhana. Now we have practically no control over them. So Swamiji says, to understand this phenomenon, what is going on in the mind, he says, compare the mind to a lake and think of every thought which arises. Think it to be a wave that rises in the lake. When you throw a stone, there are some ripples formed. So the ripples form, but they subside. They get completely merged in the lake again. So Swami Vivekananda says, just as the waves of the lake rise and then fall down again to disappear, so also these thought waves are continuously rising in the mind stuff. What is the mind stuff in Sanskrit? Chitta. It is called chitta. So in the chitta, all these waves are continuously arising. But there is a difference. In the lake, the waves arise, the ripples arise, then completely merge down and disappear forever. But the thoughts which arise in the mind stuff, they do not disappear. They become finer and finer, but they are always there, ready to start up at another time, ready to again come to the surface at the proper time when called upon to do so, when the time is right. Then each thought wave, mind you, is not destroyed, is never destroyed till the mind exists. After knowledge, that is a different thing. But these thoughts which are arising and disappearing, they are not actually disappearing. They are just reduced to a very fine state. So every wave that arises in the mind, when it subsides, does not die out entirely, but leaves a mark. And because there is a mark, there is a future possibility of that wave coming out again. This mark, with the possibility of the wave reappearing, is called sanskara. Memory, smriti, is simply calling back the same wave form, calling back those thoughts which have gone into the finer state of existence. Is it not? Yeah, any thought. Smriti is what? When you are remembering something, that mark you are recalling up again. Is it not? Again, the thought wave is there, which was there maybe years earlier. So Nyaya says, Nyaya philosophy, in defining Smriti, it says, Sanskara matra janyam jnanam Smriti. Smriti is what? Smriti is a jnana. But where it is, how is it produced? I am seeing this table. The knowledge of the table is produced right now. But this is not Smriti. When I close my eyes and think about what I had seen a few minutes ago, the table reappears. Is it not? That jnana, which is born of sanskara, sanskara matra, janyam jnanam, janyam is born of sanskara, is smriti. That is, remembrance is knowledge born of sanskara or mental impressions. Thus, everything that we have thought, every action we have done is lodged in the mind. It is all there in fine form. And when we die, the sum total of all these impressions will be there in the mind. So the soul, clothed as it were, will take these bundle of impressions which are part of the sukshma sharira or the subtle body. And where will it go? These impressions will control the next destination. They will take us. It is not that we can, like we go on a cruise and all, decide our destination. No. These sanskaras are governing us. So they will decide, as Swamiji says, the destiny of the soul is guided by the resultant of all the different forces represented by different impressions or sanskara. So each action is like the pulsations quivering over the surface of the lake. The vibration dies out, and what is left? The impressions or sanskara. Each thought, each vibration passing out of our mind leaves its sanskara. There can be nothing which does not leave a sanskara. Ordinarily, ordinary people like us cannot see those impressions, but we can infer them from the result. Because sanskaras, we know, some people are born geniuses. Some of us are just like ordinary people. So when we are practicing, what are we doing? Like a person who is learning the instrument, he will play 1, 2, 3. 10 times he plays, then he can do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Why? Because that previous impression is still there. So when it is repeated again and again, it becomes easier. Another way of defining sanskara, same meaning, Swami Vivekananda says, sanskara can be translated very nearly by the term inherent tendency. The tendency which inheres in us. So whenever we see someone at a very young age excelling in something, we say what? Oh, this must be due to previous sanskaras. Means that tendency is inherent in him. It was already there. So every work we do, every movement of the body, every thought we think leaves such an impression or such a sanskar. Sometimes these are not obvious on the surface, but they are there. Without our knowing, they are sufficiently strong to work beneath the surface subconsciously. So these sanskaras go deeper and deeper. What we have thought today will go to a lower level tomorrow, because new impressions are being piled up, no? So they will go to a deeper level. So deep down in our subconscious mind are stored up all the sanskaras, all the thoughts and acts of the past, not only of this life, but all other lives we have lived. This great boundless ocean of the subjective mind is full of all the thoughts and actions of the past. Each one of them is striving to be recognized, pushing outward for expression, surging wave after wave upon the objective mind, the conscious mind. That we can realize when we try to do meditation. Immediately you will see 1,000 thoughts are coming. So it is the experience of everybody that when we are busy with other things, then we don't feel so much disturbed. So what is happening in meditation, we are trying to control those sanskaras. So when you control something, it automatically tries to go beyond your control. It resists. So the mind starts resisting. So then we know that, see, so many thoughts are coming up when we try to control the mind. So this shows what? That these are struggling for expression. So these thoughts, the stored up energy, we take for natural desire, talents, etc. Because we do not know their true origin. Their true origin is there, deep down. Nothing comes out from zero. If something is expressing, it must have been there in some form. So in the ordinary mind, a thought arises. The mind does not know how it began, from where it is coming. So the mind is like an ocean in which a wave rises. But although we see the wave, we don't know how the wave came there. How was it born? We cannot trace it any further. But yogis, whose perception becomes very fine, can trace that thought. So when they can trace, as soon as an undesirable thought is just sprouting, they kill it, so that it does not become too big. Like what do we do when we have some disease? People have cancer nowadays so much. So they say that if it is detected in the early stages, it is very easy to get rid of, unless it is affecting some major organ or something like that. Here also the same thing. When the thought is caught just as it is sprouting, it is very easy to control it. That's why those who are very advanced, they can do it in the primary stages. So anyway, sanskaras are impressions and they give rise to actions which create more impressions. That is the problem. The stronger we are attached to those impressions, the stronger will be the result also. So of course, now there is no going into detail because that is a part of sadhana. So in short, this is the meaning of sanskara. So I will quote another disciple of Sri Ramakrishna who had spent about 25 years in the West, just a few sentences. He says the same thing, but it will help us understand better. He says in a slightly different way. His name is Swami Abhedananda. So he says, every action of body or mind which we do, every thought that we think becomes fine and is stored up in the form of a sanskara or impression. It remains latent for some time, then it rises up in the form of a mental wave and produces new sanskaras, new desires. I ate an ice cream 10 days ago. I liked it very much. After a few days, I forgot about it. Then I saw an advertisement. As soon as I saw, that sanskara came up. Again, I want to eat it. So that sanskara is giving rise to new desires. So these desires are called in Vedanta vasanas. Vasana means what? Impression. Inclination of anything remaining unconsciously in the mind. It is a technical term. So every voluntary or involuntary action of the body, sense or mind must correspond to the dormant impressions stored up in the Sukshma Sharira or subtle body. It has to be related to that. Otherwise, there can be no action. The whole series of actions, every individual act, the condition of the body which accomplishes it, the whole process in and through which the body exists are nothing but the outward expressions of these sanskaras. In other words, it is the sanskaras which manifest as habits, behavior, tendencies, psychological predispositions and dispositions. And it is these that propel a human being to future action, future premises, future thoughts or future judgments. So we are what our sanskaras are. What we think, we do is registered in God's khata or in God's register. And these are the governing factors behind all our physical and mental activities. From this we can understand how careful we should be in creating sanskaras. So this much. So at least now we have a good idea of what sanskaras are and how they govern our lives. So let us end here. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna